Hey everyone, I'm here in Badlands National Park in South Dakota. Just got into the park a little while ago. Got set up at the campground and just in time for sunset, which happened just a few minutes ago. And you can see some of the formations behind me. So I'm here for 2 days. Tomorrow I'll be hiking into the backcountry, and hopefully that goes well because the high tomorrow is supposed to be like 99 degrees. I don't know if I've backpacked in that sort of temperature before, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, we'll be doing some of the shorter trails as well. The backcountry hike. There's a 4-wheel drive road in the park that I want to check out, and yeah, and just check out these amazing sights. I've been here once many years ago, just for like a couple-hour drive through, but gonna do a little bit more exploring this time. So it's my first morning in Badlands, and I'm camped at Cedar Pass Campground, which is, I can actually see it from here. I don't know if you can see the lights over there, but that's the lodge and the campground. And so I just hiked across the street. It's a little before lightning, a little before sunrise. So I hiked out into some of the Badlands across from the lodge to get some shots of the sunrise. I wanted to do some night sky stuff last night, but just about sunset, just after sunset, the clouds rolled in, and lightning. It was a cool lightning show, but no stars whatsoever. So that was a bit of a bummer. And it rained. But anyway, I got up early this morning, and it looks like I might have a decent sunrise. So we'll see what that looks like, and then we'll drive around the park a little bit. Right, so that was sunrise. It was actually quite pretty. Now I'm trying to get down off this formation that you see behind me. I'd come around from that direction, and now I'm coming down into this little opening amongst the formations. Although these look like very sturdy, I'm not even sure what you call these, hills, formations. They're really not. They're extremely crumbly. They're basically gigantic piles of like dried mud. So when you walk on them, you have to be very careful because they're quite slippery. In fact, the park has a no climbing policy, so you can like hike over them like I'm doing now, but like you wouldn't want to rock climb here. It's just, there's nothing to grab onto. It would crumble in your hands. And also that's part of why Badlands has an open hike policy, because there's really no point in establishing trails, although they do have a few trails, but the trails would just get washed out fairly soon, and so it'd be too hard to maintain them. So basically you can just pull over and hike into the Badlands wherever you want, which is what we're doing tonight. We're gonna hike into a part in the middle of the park and set up camp. But yeah, I didn't really do much walking around last time I was here. Mostly just stopping at the lookouts. Yeah, I didn't realize how crumbly this stuff was. So I decided to come back the way I came. I couldn't quite find the path through that grass, so like it wasn't too bad climbing over these, so I figured I'd just do it. And it's windy enough where my hat won't stay on, so I took that off. Yeah, so I'm trying to navigate my way back through this. There's a bit of a trail that people have worn down into the rock, but it's, like I said before, it's very crumbly and kind of slick, and you got to be very careful. All right, so I'm on the Notch Trail right now. It's one of the few maintained trails in the park, and it leads up to a feature called the ladder, which is an actual ladder that the Park Service has installed to get up this one slope. It's still up ahead a little bit, but man, it's cool walking through these little canyons that the Badlands form. I already saw a bunny, so that's cool. All right, so we arrived at the ladder, which is right here, and watching other people go up. It's actually loose, like all the rungs are connected by cables. So it's like almost like a rope ladder on a slope. So this should be interesting. Alright, so now I'm on the Cliff Shelf Nature Trail, which is right here. Kind of goes up and around. So apparently this area that's all covered in trees is kind of a landslide. Apparently it broke off from this area up here, slid down, compacted, and became a better environment for like trees and stuff to grow in. It's called a slump, according to geologists. And so now there's just a boardwalk trail that goes around it. Alright, so I'm still on the Cliff Shelf Trail, and up here you can see here, that's the end of the Notch Trail that we were on earlier today. So that's kind of neat. And when I was up there, I could look down and see the boardwalk that I'm on right now. So Badlands doesn't really have much in the way of trees, but this Cliff Shelf Trail it's like a little forest. It's kind of neat. And junipers and cedars, I believe, and some other trees mixed in. It's very cool. And some shade, which is nice.
Seen any antelope yet?
So I don't know if you can hear behind me, but there's a prairie dog town that we stopped to look at, and that chirping noise, that's the prairie dogs. That's their warning call for the other prairie dogs that there's danger around. The danger in this case being me. Yeah, that's cool. That's a huge town too. And I can see mounds for like a quarter-mile stretch of the prairie here. Very cool. Alright, so I'm driving along the Sage Creek Rim Road in the western part of Badlands, and stopped at another prairie dog town. This is another big town. Like, this is again like a quarter-mile in each direction, probably, this town. And there's some bison in the distance too, so I'm gonna drive down there and check that out. And this road it's a dirt road, which is fine. I mean, I got a four-wheel drive, high clearance, but it's washboarded bad. Like, I'm down to 5 miles an hour at some parts and driving on the wrong side of the road just to avoid the washboard. And it's in the mid-90s, so not doing a whole lot of hiking or walking around.